We are live. Man, must have been, must have had this thing where it showed that we were waiting on me. Sorry about that. Started getting the live stream ready while we were driving to the field here. So right now I'm trying to get my task controllers set up so we can record some data. Don't know. I'm trying to think what the name of this field is. Still getting the hang of recording data with the AccuTerminal. Never used to use it for this until this year. I was using climate for this. But we are kind of not using climate at the moment. Going away from them. Here, I'll show you guys what I'm doing. There we are. Pulling into a new field here, so I'm getting my GPS set up. We are in a different field. I think you can find this. Oh, no. Not what I wanted. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, wrong button. There we go. I don't know why I didn't turn this on after I got all this part put in here, but I did. So sorry about that. It helps if you have the right fields selected. Yeah, there we go. Got it. Okay. Now, for some reason with the Challenger, if I'm not doing this wrong, you have to set up your field in your auto steer menu. Then if you want to record the task, you have to go into this little app type field. Change this. I'll delete that. Add farm there. You want to add the field. Unfortunately, when you click this list of fields, it brings up every field we have. That's quite annoying because a lot of them have the same name. Hopefully they fix that with an update because this is a pain in the butt. You can't type it in either. That would be okay if you could just type in what it is. Not the case. Come on, Anko, get this program there. How's the weather where everybody's? Oh, there's a field. I hope that's the right field. I think that's the right one. How's the weather where everybody's at? It is actually. Today wasn't as pretty. Yesterday was plumb pretty. Today it is. It's kind of cool and just looks like it's supposed to rain, but it has not rained. So we're going with it. You see where something stung me right in between the eyes, though? So yeah, you guys get a look at that dot. I think we've got all of our info in here. Oh man, I don't have that many acres this field is. Oh crap. Huh. Alright. Okay. Go out of this menu. Still getting the hang of this. Maybe by the time we're actually ready to like farm, I'll know how to do this pretty well. I did end up getting all my lines transferred from the planting tractor into this tractor. So right now I'm renaming AB lines. This tractor is going to be strip tilling eventually, so I want to keep the planting lines so I can strip till them. I'll show you what I'm doing. Whenever I imported these lines into this tractor, they just came up AB lines. Each field I've got to go in and name the AB lines that I have. So like these are corn planting lines. But otherwise, it's just going to be AB 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, however many AB lines I put in there. We're putting a new line because we are turbo maxing. All right, there we go. Guess we need to make point A. And we're off. Still have steering yet. So just a minute, I'll get our steering line. There we go. And now we're moving. Oh, now we're steering. Why is it telling me that? It tells me that. There we go. Art correct. Now we're back to it. Alright. Get some of the comments. And I'm going all the way to the top, so I'm a little bit behind here. Riley Phillips asked for a shout out. Well, I guess you got one. Don't normally do that. Everybody's a lot of highs. I think you're a tad bit late. You busy driving home from courthouse? No. Me and BJ were actually working on the planner, so I didn't want to start the live stream before I got to the field that I was going to be in for a while. So yeah, we were running a little bit late on the stream. Grandma was slow, but she was old. Man, how long did you keep you guys waiting? Hey, there's Black Hand Farmer. Met him down in San Antonio, his family. Still doing it. Man, how long did I keep? What time is it? I guess you guys did wait a little bit. Sorry about that. If you guys have left. I say they had a bomb incident here. Changed plans. Yeah, just a little. But we're okay now. Hit the like button. Yeah, everybody hit the like button. That'd be great. That'd be great. Things going to be run out of the field. It's about to rain. It's not supposed to rain. I haven't checked the weather this morning, actually, but it does look like it could rain. I hope it doesn't. Maybe I should have done that before I get to the field. How's it going? It's going pretty good. Pretty good. I'm really glad we missed these rains this past. Really glad we missed these rains this last weekend. Otherwise, we would not be here. But yeah, we were supposed to get quite a bit of rain Saturday, and I woke up and it barely rained. In fact, I probably could have. I could have served Saturday or Sunday night, but we didn't. Get the pass. I've been going every other pass this year, turbo. It's easier to turn back into them, especially with one hand. Where are all the bots? I'm sure they're coming. Get a track tractor. Yeah, that's odd. Audio not the best. I'll try to speak up. Maybe I can turn. Does that help? Can you hear me any better? I don't know if it's running through the Bluetooth on my tractor, because right now it says I've been in a phone call for 8 minutes, which is exactly how long the live stream's been going. So yeah, it must be running off this. Everyone always asks what this is in the 1038. That's a microphone. Works great, as you guys can clearly hear, I guess. This is the only machine I've ever been in with in-cab Bluetooth that actually works. So, big fan. Are you using a DJI camera? I am. In fact, it's right here. Osmo Action Cam. Tony Fast, he's been using one for, I think, a year now. Talked to him about it. He's had nothing but good luck. Welkers, they made the big switch last month, I think, and they've had good luck. My GoPros, I've got 2 of them in here. They just seem to be nothing but problems, and I finally just had enough of it. That last video, if you couldn't tell, I was pretty upset, especially when I was going to edit footage. And sometimes I'll have issues where the GoPros will freeze. This time they didn't freeze. They just didn't write anything. I don't know. Lots of issues, so I just couldn't take it anymore and got rid of them. Well, I'm going to get rid of them. But the only thing I will say, the GoPro did have it does have a better app than the DJI app. I know a lot of people don't even use those, but when I put a camera on a piece of equipment, the app's pretty handy because I can turn it on and off from the cab. I don't have to get out, so I do like that. And the DJI app kind of sucks. I use a Sony Handycam. No issues. Yep, my main camera. I have no issues with them. It's just the action cams. They seem to give me a lot of issues. Hello from Brazil. We are planting corn tomorrow. Well, Blackhan, aren't you guys in northern Texas? Yeah, it'll be a little bit before we get to plant corn. How many hours can you put on a tractor a year? Usually we put around 300 a year on one. Last year the 1038 got a lot of extra hours because we put it on a grain cart, and they tend to suck hours. They use I think last year just during harvest we used the 1038 about 200 hours. So I'm out of coffee, so I'm having a lazy man coffee. That's what I call Mountain Dew, lazy man's coffee. Time 1:45 a.m. I'm sorry about that. From the Netherlands. Sorry about that. I need to pay attention from time to time. If we keep going and don't turn, we will destroy that wheat field. That wouldn't be good. Dad would not be impressed. I missed a lot of comments, so I'm going to go back up a ways. Actually, I need to turn first. So, let me turn one more time. That way. Alright, here we go. Last night was the first night I was running the Turbo Max, and I have my buttons set up on go and end. I didn't have something set right. I fixed it today, but every time I would hit go, it would just hit the auto steer line, and I'd have to hit it again to drop the implement. So towards the end of the evening, when I started getting a little sleepy, every now and then I'd look back and be halfway through the field with the implement still up in the air, but I think we've got that pretty well straightened out now. Alright, now we're going to fill in the ones we skipped. So has anybody else been able to get in the fields just yet? No, I was kind of surprised that we were able to get in. I thought we were going to be rained out this week. Not complaining because we've got it's supposed to rain till Sunday, I think. So maybe we will actually get some of those beans in the ground early. That is the plan still. Tomorrow, maybe in eastern Iowa. Just got done raining in Mount Gilead. How are your field conditions? Just a little damp, but not bad at all. Not a whole lot of dust, a little bit of dust, a little bit. We could plan in this. I'm pretty confident. Wish I could watch your live stream, Brian, but I can't because of restriction mode on my phone. Sorry about that. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know you could comment, I guess, on it if you couldn't watch it, but I don't know. Sorry about that. It will be available after the stream is over. I leave all my live streams up. So soil temps, I'm not sure what the temps are. Like I said, this year I'm hoping to push that envelope a little bit and not really. Oh, Jim Simmons, thank you for the super chat. Just 1 second and I'll explain the Turbo Max. This year I'm really wanting to push that envelope and not worry quite as much on soil temperatures. I'm not going to be planting corn for a while. I think corn tends to respond to soil temperatures more so than soybeans. We're getting warm though. The other day it was 80 degrees, which is unseasonably warm, but it is starting to get a little warm out there. I think our water temperature is like 45, so I'd say our soil temperature is getting there. Now, Jim Simmons, like I said, thank you for that $5 super chat. Please explain what the Turbo Max does. Turbo Max, it's a vertical tillage tool. Some people say it's basically just a disc. It's very similar. The way we run our Turbo Max, you can adjust the angle on it. I don't know if you can see right there. That, yeah, right there. Right. Anyways, there's a gauge back there that shows what degree angle you're running. I've got mine running at 1 degree, which really isn't doing much. I could put it at 0 and do about the same. In fact, I'm going to do that now. And right now my blades are straight. They are fluted Kohlers, so they do have a wave in them, but they're really not throwing dirt. The purpose of the Turbo Max is just to chop up the corn stalks. If you look out the window here, you can see non-turbo tilt ground, turbo tilt ground. So it just makes planting into it a little bit easier. I think it's still kind of, I don't know. I was a bigger believer in the Turbo Max a couple years ago. Dad calls it a fad. He says in agriculture in his lifetime there's been lots of tillage fads, and he says vertical tillage is a tillage fad. It may be, but he bought one. So, but this year we're not going to turbo till everything. When I say turbo till, I mean Turbo Max, same thing. But I do want to do some of the earlier planted ground just to warm it up. That's what I'm doing. That's my main goal here, is just kind of stir it up a little bit, get it a little bit warmer. Show us more footage with the camera turned. Are you going to burn corn stalks this year? Yeah, I'm going to have to. The river did end up getting out a little bit, so I'm going to have to burn some. It didn't get out near as bad as last year, so it probably won't. I would imagine I'm not going to burn as many stalks, but some will be burnt. Unfortunately, it got out a little later this year. Last year, I think it was February when it got out. In fact, I know it was. Why don't you in-row plant instead of tillage? I don't know. Just don't know anything about it, really. Wouldn't rule it out one day, but right now this is just how we're doing it. Is something up with your mic? Hope not. Might just be when I get too far away from this mic. Maybe I can turn that up. I don't know. I never really thought about the Bluetooth on the tractor interfering with it. Let's see that tillage tool. There she is, in all of her glory. See that? Got a little dusty earlier. Are you going to plant radishes again, come for cover next to the river? Maybe if we get a chance. The problem with the tiller radishes, you have to get them out fairly early. Last year that ground was flooded, so there was no crops in it. If we have some more ground like that, then yeah, we probably will put some kind of cover crop in there. Otherwise, I don't know. I like the idea of them, but I don't want to pay to have them flown on. I just don't know that they do that much good. I do believe in them. I think they do a good job, but I would prefer it not cost that much. When you start having them flown on, it's pretty expensive. At that point, it's probably cheaper just to run a ripper. How is the tile doing? Tile, it's not doing bad. Usually it takes a little while for tile to start really performing, like a year or so is what Dad's always told me. It takes for the tile to really start performing. That ground has to, that ground was packed when we were putting it in, obviously, so there is subsurface compaction where that water's just laying really in the quad track tracks, but I do believe it will make quite a big difference. Love seeing your face, but kind of want to see some action. Well, here we are, and we're going back and forth, back and forth. You can see the fields are starting to get pretty dirty. Spraying's coming, but we've got to spread fertilizer first. They're actually doing some updates on that sprayer. It seems like they've done a lot of updates on it, but that's good. Glad that they are doing those updates. That was one thing we were kind of concerned about when we bought the Oxbow. Oxbow's kind of far from us, but so far support's been great. Why don't we see more of the family? Well, my kids are in the videos all the time. Wife's in there pretty often, and I work with my dad and my brother, so which part of the family you want to see? Has BJ wrecked anything yet? Not yet. But if he starts running the bean planter, it's only a matter of time. I'm giving him some crap, but I mean, it very well could happen. I mean, stuff happens. Missed a lot of comments. Sorry about that. Don't break the basket off. Yeah. Last year was the first time I've ever done that, and I did it twice. So, trying to avoid that. Why don't we see more of your wife and kids? Like I said, they're in the videos pretty often, but there's not enough room for all of them in here. Well, there probably is. Might be a little uncomfortable though. You don't. These guys talking about in a row planting. You don't till you just plant in between the rows that already exist. Saves lots of time. If you're talking about planting beans in between the corn rows, that is our plan on the fields that we do not turbo max. Like I say, these ones just kind of wanted to do this to warm the ground up a little bit. But we also do not have RTK on our bean tractor, our bean planting tractor, and we do on our corn planting tractor. So, I don't know, it might be a little bit difficult to interseed in between those perfectly. We would probably just end up going at an angle. That's what we've done before. Whenever I used to drive without auto steer, yeah, first few years I planted no auto steer. I would plant in between the rows. I knew where to put my tire in between the corn rows, and I could usually do it pretty well. Update on your dad's 40/20. I still know where it's at. The guy still plans on exchanging tractors with us. We just haven't got to it yet. The whole Corona thing kind of put a damper on everything. I mean, it is still going to happen. It'll just probably be a while still. How do you like your Brilliant Ripper? I'm not sure what you're talking about on that one. Why isn't BJ working ground? I don't know. I just kind of hopped in and left. Like I say, I like doing this, so having trouble letting go. Is it dark in here, or is it just my phone making it look dark on my screen? I can't really tell. Coronavirus changed China's commitment to buy products from the U.S. I don't know. There's a lot of concern on that. I'm pretty positive they just bought a lot of corn, but it didn't make any difference. Our cash corn bid right now is pretty cheap, like $3.30. So I'm really glad we sold the bushels that we've been hauling last month for like I don't know, is well over $4. Ever think of making a map for Farmer Simulator? I don't know. Have you seen my channel, Black Hand Farmer? I am. I'm pretty positive I'm a subscriber. I think. Pretty positive. I'll be honest with you, though, I don't get to watch a whole lot of YouTube anymore. Fuel consumption. Let's see here. Just pull her up on the screen. There she is. I don't know if those are right. Gallons per hour, 11.3. So, if we go back here, actually, there we go. This one. That's what I've used right now in this field. Done 9, I don't know why it says 21 hours. It's 21 minutes. I've used 3.7 gallons in 21 minutes. How many acres are you doing tonight? Tonight's not going to be quite as late as last night. This field's 60 acres, and then I'm probably going to hang it up. I'm probably going to be out of government juice. Had some other stuff going on today. Didn't get to spend quite as much time in here as I wanted, but I did want to come here and get this field done real quick. Oh, add some down pressure. If you plant all your corn and beans, if I plant all your corn and beans, will you do my homework? Yeah, but you might not graduate. It's one thing I do not miss. Is the 1038 the biggest tractor you have ever owned on the farm? No, nope. Let's see here. What all has Dad had? When I was a kid, they had a lot of four-wheel drives. Back then, they were doing a lot more conventional tillage. So I'm pretty sure the old 8430, like from the 80s or 70s, I don't think that was, I think it was only like 300 horse. But at one time, they had an 8630 and an 8960, I believe. I don't know what, I think one of those was 400 horse. I think the 8960 was a 400 horse tractor. And then the tractor before the 1038 was a 420 Steiger. So that was 420 horse. Terrible to see the farm by Ryan from How Farms Work got destroyed. How close it come to their farm. Yeah, that was pretty scary. When we first posted that, I thought it was their farm, but yeah, that's scary stuff. Fortunately, in our area, we don't get a lot of big storms like that, a lot of tornadoes. You go much west of here, it gets really flat, and you see a lot of them, but we're still pretty good. You still have that 8400 John Deere. No, I'm not talking about that 84. I'm talking about an 8430 four-wheel drive. What year is the 1038? They are actually both 2017s. Difference is this one that I'm sitting in, the newer one, the one we just got, it was an AGCO demo tractor, so it had never been sold. That's why it's an older machine. Are you planning? My friend sent me your Instagram, and now I'm super confused. We did get the planter out today. We filled it up. We had a couple openers we wanted to replace and a couple other things. We've never actually put seed through it, so we did want to do that. The planter is ready to go. No, nothing was actually planted today, though. It is filled up and ready to roll, and sometime this week we will be planting soybeans. That's the plan. No, tonight we are just running the Turbo Max. Do you like the Fit Green or Challenger Yellow? I really like the yellow myself, but I'm also not super picky on colors. Like, when I buy a vehicle, I usually buy whatever's the best deal. I don't really, as long as it's not something stupid and obnoxious, I don't really care. How's BJ feel about planting beans? Is he all up to snuff on the Pro 700? I think he's nervous. He hasn't told me, but imagine walking into a new job and being handed the keys to like one of the main pieces of that, like that operation. Like, I don't know. It is kind of an undertaking for him. I mean, his family's farmer his whole life, but my brother is not. So, like, I'm sure this is a little stressful for him, but I think he's going to do okay. I mean, I'm trying to think back when I first started planting. I was a nervous wreck for a while. Like, I was very scared I was going to mess up. I was very scared I was going to break something. And then after you fix a few of your own breaks, your mess ups, you get the hang of it. You get comfortable. How big is the Turbo Till? The Turbo Max is a 30-footer. 30 foot. What are you going to do on the farm? Well, I'm going to do a little bit of everything. I'm going to help BJ get started planting soybeans. So sometime this week I'll be planting some beans. I'm going to do the strip tilling. And then Dad, he usually does the spraying. So I'd say me and Dad will both be planting corn. Once I get done strip tilling, I'll probably hop in the corn planter while he's finishing spraying. I'd say this week I'll also be spreading some fertilizer. Dad's still he's very much so a workaholic, but he doesn't quite stay out quite as late as he used to. He likes to go to bed at 11 and go home at 8. So I'll probably hop in his equipment when he's done for the night. Do you like the Ideal 9, Fendt Ideal T9 with a joystick? I think it would be a really cool thing to play with. I don't know yet. I'd have to drive it, which is really just me saying I want them to bring one down so I can demo it. But I mean, I don't know. It's very interesting. I think you would get the hang of it pretty quick, and you wouldn't care anymore. Do you spray behind the planter? Normally, we like to burn down before it.
spraying with dicamba, it's kind of nice. We could plant and then burn down. Which what we plant first, that might happen. What's George doing these days? A whole lot of nothing. He tinkers. George is always going to be busy tinkering. Please show the job you're doing. Well, you're a little late. I've been showing it. There she is. That's it. You guys just want to get out and check it out? We'll just stop it. All right. Oh, you guys couldn't hear me. That's probably because we were still connected to the Bluetooth. Sorry about that. I'm forgetting about that. It's like watching Bob. You can't hear it, but there's a lot of arm waving. Dicamba kills trees and tobacco here. Very hard to use in North Carolina. We've been very fortunate. For one thing, all of our neighbors, for the most part, plant dicamba, so we don't have to really worry about hitting our neighbors with it. If you're not from a farming background, dicamba is a herbicide we use. It does a very good job, but it's very volatile. So you have to really pay attention to when you spray. You can have things like temperature inversions, and that stuff will literally get up and move. So you have to pay attention to what you're doing, and sometimes stuff happens. How are the flooded fields? Dad went down and looked at them tonight. For the most part, the water is receding. The potholes are still going to have water in them, but some of them probably won't dry up for a long time. Was it cutting the stalks well? Yeah, it's doing a pretty good job. Like I say, I'm not trying to throw a lot of dirt. I actually have shallowed it up some today. I did have it a little bit deeper. This ground here is actually pretty hard. This is really gravelly ground, so we're not really going in the ground. Maybe I should have left it a little deeper. Oh well. We are still cutting the stalks up, and that's the main goal. Someone asked, what speed am I operating? I have my cruise set at 10. See, like I was saying before, I am skipping a pass, so we zoom all the way out here. You can see that we've just been going every other one, and then when we get to the end, I'll just come back and fill us in. How long will you be live? We'll probably hang out for about an hour. Will you ever go back to a big four-wheel drive? I don't know. If we needed big power, I would. We don't. This is enough power for the most part. Or, well, we could use a 450. Like, if we had a 450 horse tractor, we would easily be able to pull a 16 shank strip tiller. But you can get that amount of horsepower in one of these. So I would probably just go that route. I like the versatility and agility of a front wheel assist tractor a little bit better. But I don't know. Four-wheel drives aren't bad. I would just prefer a front wheel assist. you ever visited the Mississippi Delta? We went to New Orleans for vacation a few years ago, and we actually took the kids. I don't know if that was the greatest idea, but when we were there, we explored a little bit in that, like around some of the farming community or some of the farms in that area. I don't know if that would be considered the Mississippi Delta or not, to be honest with you. I work with family. Funny to watch you guys interact when something goes wrong. Yeah, we try to keep it fun. Usually when something breaks, whoever broke it's really mad, and the other two are laughing. That's usually how we like to keep it. Oh, there's the master pipe layer. We have a legend. We have a legend in the house. Randy, I hope you're surviving the quarantine. I hope you're well stocked. And you guys were getting ready for some planting. Like I said, we're going to avoid this little hillside. I'll go up here back to where it's flat. Conservation. Ooh, a little rough right there. There actually used to be a corn crib right there. Many years ago. Many years ago. Do you plant more corn than soybeans? It really just depends. We're pretty close to the same. I mean, one year there's going to be a little bit more there, but for the most part, it's pretty even. Try to keep it that way. On YouTube, had this organic bean field destroyed by Canva. Oh, that's rough. Like I said, sometimes you have to be real careful with dicamba. The guy was saying that someone on YouTube had an organic bean field get destroyed by dicamba. Now, last year we actually did have a neighbor that was planting Liberty beans, and we did drift over and get him a little bit. We seen it before they did. We were like, hey, let us know if there's any drag there. We'll make up your difference. It didn't affect the whole field, just a patch. It really didn't affect any, but it just depends on when those beans get sprayed with dicamba. Are you going to do more hunting videos this fall? Really enjoyed them. Probably do some deer hunting videos. I like filming them. Probably not any duck hunting because I like shooting ducks. Yeah, the only thing I want to shoot them with is a gun, not a camera. In Saskatchewan, Canada, we just got 3 inches of snow. Keep that there. We have not had any snow for a while. When's the tractor's contract will finish? When this lease is up, will we continue to use Challengers? So far, yes, but like every time we price equipment, it comes down to price. We're pretty happy with our Challengers. And obviously, we just got another one, or this one that I'm in. So yeah, I would see no reason why they would not be a front runner in what we would choose next. Wish it was dry enough to do field work. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fun being able to do field work again. How much does it cost to lease the tractor that much? Well, it just depends. Depends on what kind of deals you can find. The first time we leased the tractor was in 2012, and the reason we did, we could lease a 340 Magnum for $15,000 a year. Which to buy that same tractor, that was a $300,000 tractor. So to buy that piece of equipment, it was much more. So we were like, oh man, that's pretty hard to pass up. Unfortunately, prices have went up since then. Kind of the pain in the butt with the lease. We traded the tractors that we owned in on that lease, so we don't really have anything. We don't have a tractor anymore, so we're kind of stuck in the leasing cycle. But so far we've got along good. Prices haven't got too out of sight yet. So yeah, it just depends on what kind of deals you can find. One thing we like to do, Ohio State, for example, they get tractors from the big manufacturers. You can usually get one of those pretty cheap. Actually, none of the tractors we have at the moment were, but we almost ended up with a 380 Magnum a couple of years ago because of that, because they had a return. They're pretty cheap when they do that, or they have a big discount. So we always try to find demo machines and stuff like that. What disc are you pulling? Pulling a 30-foot? Oh, wrong one. There we go. Pulling a 30-foot Turbomax. So, yep, that's what we're pulling. When, I lost my place. Dang it. When are you going to start planting corn? Corn will not be near as early as the soybeans this year. Corn will probably be third week of April, which is about when we normally do. By then, we're pretty much out of danger of frost. It can happen, but not very often. So, in my opinion, I think the corn will be fine waiting that long, but I would like to experiment with some earlier planted soybeans, like first week of April. I think that could pay pretty well. There's some spam asking if I've been donated, whatever that means. Just like a new truck, way cheaper to lease than buy. Yeah, I guess. I mean, kind of seems that way, unfortunately. Everyone's talking about Randy's Instagram. I did see that he was put some tile in today, so they must be getting pretty warm. How is the kids' play floor holding up? Not bad. I mean, it's a little dirty, but it ain't bad. He was in here yesterday. He really seemed to enjoy it. He kept asking where his tractors were and why I cut up his carpet, but are you going to upgrade Bobcam this year? Probably not, just because I don't know that he would figure out how to use a different camera. He's really good with the camera he has. He knows how to hit the on button and the record button. We start making things complicated, I don't know. He had a camera today. I don't know if he used it or not. Your audio isn't too good. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Is that better? Are we any better now? Maybe this will be better. I don't know. Is the audio any good now? It's one thing I hate about live streams. They always have bad audio. At least when I do them. I don't know how to do a live stream from a camera or a phone, or not a phone, a camera of any kind while in the tractor, so I have to use my phone. And usually it doesn't do as well. I know my old phone, the speaker was played out in it, and I didn't figure that out so no one could hear me. No, that's why. What Challenger is that? This is a 1038 Challenger. It's fine, except it's out of sync. Yeah, that happens. I think I have decent service, so might be your internet, might be mine, who knows. Met you at National Farm Machinery Show. Great experience. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. It was fun meeting everybody there. Although I will say this, I'm glad the National Farm Machinery Show is not going on right now. Is that the biggest Challenger they make? Well, this is the biggest front wheel assist frame they make. This same tractor, same engine, same everything, goes all the way up to 500 horsepower. This one's 380, but they also make a track Challenger that has 590, and then they make a four-wheel drive Challenger. You don't see many of those. I think they go all the way up to 610, but I could be wrong on that. Someone's saying if you exit the chat and then come back in, it will resync it. And then the audio sync should be in good shape. Farmall Fanatics. Thanks for the $2 donation, buddy. I appreciate that. Big Bad Brian. Yes. Just watched Farmhand Mike's live stream. He got himself 2 big versatile tractors to use this spring. That's awesome. Versatile really has a good asset there with Mike, because he is a great representative for their company. I mean, not very often you have a company rep who just also happens to have a YouTube channel that's pretty successful. If you guys haven't watched Farmhand Mike, you need to go check him out. Mike's a great guy. I've met him multiple times. We actually don't even live that far apart. But, yeah, great dude. Always enjoy visiting with Mike. And we're turning. I was trying to turn the camera around so you can see it turn. Apparently my face is breaking cameras, keeping rats away, scaring babies. What are you doing out there in the field? I'm running a Turbo Max. There it is. Are YouTube royalties worth all the work? The first year I did not make much money. I mean, really. At first when I started, when you first start making YouTube videos, you don't get paid. There's certain criteria you have to make to get monetized. And I was thinking, I just bought this $500 camera. Maybe by the end of the year I can pay for it. And I was super happy when that happened. And ever since then, YouTube hasn't owed me a dime. I just like doing it. But yeah, it does pay pretty decent. We'll see how much it pays after the coronavirus is over. Because so far, it's not paying very well during that time with all that going on. Like your Challenger, but I use John Deere. Yeah, I mean, really, what you're comfortable with is it's hard to switch. I mean, that's one of the main reasons I didn't go with that 8400R. I'm pretty comfortable with this tractor, and I never ran that 8400 except for I think we ran it 20 hours. So, I mean, it was fun. The tractor was awesome. No real complaints, but, I mean, I was used to this one. I was used to the service and sales department with Ohio Ag, so that's why we stuck with what we stuck with. What year is your truck and what year is your brother's? Mine is a 2004 and his is a 2005. They are both the LLY Duramax, which really, in my opinion, is the least desirable, but hey, prices were right. And I found mine had 50,000 miles, so you don't see that often. How has digital technology helped increase productivity in the United States? That's a good question. I would say it's increased productivity quite a bit. Whenever I was a kid, we didn't. I'm trying to think when Dad got a yield monitor pretty early. Dad's always been always trying to keep up with the latest and greatest. LBZ Duramax all the way. I agree. Ford LMM. Is that whatever the next generation was? I also like them after they're deleted. If you're into that sort of thing. But anyways, digital technologies have helped a lot. Whenever I was a kid, we got a yield monitor. That made a big difference. We were able to actually tell what our crops were doing versus just adding up our weight tickets. That was awesome. When you store grain, if you're not taking it to a scale like the one at the elevator when you sell it, it's hard to get a good figure on what your crops actually made. So with our yield monitors and our scale systems and everything, we're able to actually do that. It's really helped a lot. In the past 5 years, we've really started keeping a better job of side-by-side comparison records so we can actually see if a product's worth the investment or not. So yeah, it's definitely made us better producers. How high is the Scioto River now? It's not very high at all. It's actually in good shape. Nothing great about a computer in a tractor. Well, some days I would have to agree with you because they can be pretty frustrating. But, I mean, I'm having a live stream right now and talking to you guys, so couldn't do that without the computer. It'd be pretty hard. I could probably do it, but the roads would be a lot less straight. We have done, how many acres have we done? Hold on a minute, we get turned around here. We have done 22 acres of this 60-acre field. Flip you guys back around. Now here you can see our fuel consumption for the field. We've been in the field 46 minutes, done 22 acres. What combines do you harvest with? We harvest with Kloss Lexion 740s. We have two of them. Corn just hit 298 cash here today. Ugh, looks like the toughest year ever coming. Hopefully that does not last. I'm hoping this is just uncertainty in the market. Although the 97 million acres of corn doesn't really help us much. But yeah, that's going to be rough. That's below profitability. It's not good. Yeah, not a fan of that. I would say if you see grain peaking back up into that $4 range, you better start booking it. What year is your 8400? I believe it's a 98, but it could be maybe a 97. I think it's a 98. Whenever that was my uncle's tractor, him and my dad farmed together, and he actually, Dad got an 8400 first, and then my uncle got one. The one we still have is my uncle's old 8400. I believe it was a 98. How many acres do you and your own? We own roughly a third of what we farm. Between a third and 40%. I think. Well, that's not counting what I own. So no, we own close to half. That's what Dad. Never mind. We own close to half. Did you have most of your grain contracted before the markets tanked? Fortunately, yes. The corn that we've been hauling in has all been above $4, and the soybeans all been above $9. I'm not saying that to brag. Normally, we are on the complete other end of that. It's very rare that we're ever actually good grain marketers. So, but yes, we did. We were very fortunate and sold most of ours before the market tanked. Although we still do have like a third to 40% of our corn left, so we're not completely out of corn. Definitely still have a lot of stakes in the game. What combine would you go with if you had all the money in the world? I don't know if I could pick just one. I'd probably go with a class size 9, whichever one it was. 45-foot platform, and I don't know, probably a 12-row folder still, just because I like folding heads. And then, I don't know. Like, I want to try the new Kloss Class 9. I want to try the Fendt Ideal Class 9. I want to try a Deere Class 9. And I also want to try a Case Class 9. And just for giggles, I want to try a Glader and a New Holland Class 9. I really don't know. That's a hard question to answer. I like running equipment, so. Yep, turning again. Alright, there we go. Are you going to use precision planting or a dealer? Yeah, actually, we have older precision parts on our corn planter. We have E-sets. The plan eventually, hoping to do it this year, but the strip till bar that project ate up some money, and then a few other upgrades we've done. I want to put electric drives and downforce on our corn planter. It'll probably be precision. It could be ag leader. I haven't really priced to see what the big differences are yet, but yeah, definitely a good possibility for precision. Did anyone feel what happened to the shop vac or the grain vac? The grain vac's in the shed. Haven't had to use it yet. Did anyone feel that earthquake? No, that was me getting out of the tractor. Cotton is 50 cents, and we still have 3 acres to sell. What is I guess I'm really out of touch with what cotton sells for. What would be like a good cotton price? Like what would be comparable to $4 corn, if that would help? Explain front wheel assist versus four wheel drive. Oh boy. Let's see if we can explain that. On a four wheel drive, they're always in four wheel drive. There is no in and out of four wheel drive. This tractor only kicks into four wheel drive when it needs to. And usually a four wheel drive tractor has an articulating frame. If you're familiar with the Welkers, for example, all of their big buds are four wheel drives. And the Steigers that they were driving in their latest video, those are four wheel drives. Usually a four-wheel drive is a higher horsepower tractor. How fast you going? 10 miles an hour. 80 cents. So a good cotton price is 80 cents. Your current price is 50. That's rough. That's quite the kick. Hey Brian, they do grow canola in some spots. Richmond, no. do they grow canola? We don't grow any. I know when you get into Canada areas, they definitely grow canola up there. Is that all you do? Plant corn, beans, and wheat? Do you plant mustard? No, those are the three crops we plant. Really, that's mainly the three crops that are planted in this area. There's not even really a lot of hay production here. For the most part, this is corn country. When you start getting south of here, you do get into the tobacco areas in Kentucky, but that's pretty much what we grow here. Brian, where is BJ? He's probably at home would be my guess, but I don't know. He might be watching, so maybe he'll chime in. Do not know. Whenever I left, he was putting the planter up. He had been working on it this afternoon, so I think he was just about froze. And he looked kind of hungry. What time is it there? It is 8:30. 8:30. What is your biggest field? Our biggest field would be 190 acres. We're pretty fortunate. We have several of them pretty close together. A lot of people in this area, that's a lot bigger than their average size field. So, but yeah, that's our biggest. How's Dad and George? They're both doing well. Doing well. Any potato farmers? There are potato farmers in the area. It's kind of becoming a new thing. A lot of these river bottoms have sandy, gravelly ground, and there's beginning to be a lot more irrigation, which appeals to potato farmers quite a bit. Leonard Ag, I believe, is the potato outfit in this area. Any word on the telehandler transmission? No. I don't know if them guys are, I don't know. I don't know if I don't think it's real high on their priority list. But I haven't heard anything yet. Food seems to be pretty high on the Browns' priority list. Well, yeah, you got to eat. There's my lunchbox. I mean, it was 7:30 when he left. So, Brian, would you like the IVT on a John Deere tractor? Actually, I've ran an IVT. The first planting tractor I ever planted with was a 7920 John Deere with an IVT. It was okay. That was an earlier IVT. I think they have a different. I don't think John Deere made that transmission. I think somebody else did, if I remember right. I believe they make their own now, and it performs better, from what I understand. But that one, it would change clutch packs and about save through the windshield from time to time. Didn't really care for it. I like that quite a bit better. Do you still have the MT685? We do. Dad actually just changed the oil in it today. Do you know Bear Farms by Oroville? Nope, I do not. What is your dream tractor? Good question. I would probably go with either a 460 or a 1046 or a 1050. If we're going with dreams, let's just go with an actual Fendt. It's going to be black with a white roof, red wheels, and it's going to be pulling a black Momentum planter. That would be my dream outfit. I think it was Farmhand Mike posted an outfit pretty similar to that last year. It was a white planter, a white precision planter. It looked great. It was awesome looking. But I want my 1050 with road crop tires. I don't even know if that's an option. Usually they have the big fat tires on them. Getting a drink, so hold on a minute. How much would that cost? Oh, skip the red wheels. I don't mind them. I think they look good on the black tractor. Seems to me like, for the most part, tractors are about $1,000 horsepower, so I would have to imagine that'd be around $500 grand. That tractor, at least, because it's a Fendt. Fendts are actually more expensive than John Deere. That's why we have Challengers are kind of like the Chevrolet to the Cadillacs. It'd be like the difference between a Suburban and an Escalade. You can get a fancy Suburban, but a plain Escalade comes fancier. And boom, the implement's down. Why don't you run tracks on your tractors? Well, for the most part, where we live, it's not super needed. This ground doesn't compact super bad. Well, I don't know. We don't need the flotation that tracks provide, and wheels are cheaper. So that's the main reason. A couple other little things. At the time, you could not buy a track Challenger with this IVT transmission or any CVT transmission, and we really like that. So that was one reason. I don't know. That's probably it for now, I guess. Turned around here. For some reason, when I do these live streams, my voice starts to fade. Apparently, talking for an hour straight just does it to me. All right, we are about halfway done now. Just about. Now we have to go all the way back down. Like I said, we were skipping a row all the way across, and now we're going back. Perfect. Yep, we're in some short rows, so it's hard to get a question. Why don't you grow sunflowers? I don't know. There's really not a huge market for them in this area. I do have a neighbor growing some. I believe they're pressing them themselves for oil harvest, I think. I don't know a whole lot about it. But, yeah, there's just not really a huge market for it. We stick with what we know. What is the time here? It is roughly 8:30. Had to make sure the implement was down. Do you have cows or horses? We have 2 old horses in the pasture field, and that's it. The only cow we keep is in the freezer. And the only reason we keep the horses is because Mom likes the horses, and she likes feeding them, so if they make Mom happy, I'm not talking about my wife, I'm talking about my mother. If they make her happy, whatever, they're not hurting anything. New camera or what? The camera you're watching this on is my iPhone. This is the iPhone 11. I did get a new action cam. This is a DJI Osmo Action. The last video I had lots of issues with GoPros, so I got rid of them. How old are your children? 1, 4, and 7. Watch out for the spammer girl. Yeah, I thought I'd seen some, but just kind of glancing at the comments from time to time, so I wasn't sure. Bound to happen. They're always among us. I don't know why I didn't skip a pass last year. This is way better. Don't have to slow down near as much. Just turn right back into it. Perfect. Spots in the house. Yep, I see that. How old are you and your wife? We're both 29. How many miles on the semis? That's a good question. I guess I don't know the exact numbers, but the black one has roughly 720,000. The white one has, like the white Volvo, the big one we pull the other Tempe with, I believe it's in the close to 8 range. Might be over 8. And then the other, the International, it's 620. So they're all pretty high miles. By the time we get them, they're pretty cheap because they have a lot of miles. How many gallons of fuel are you using? So far, we have used 11.6. Which ones are the actual spam bots? Because they're copying legitimate questions, so I cannot figure out who's who. I don't want to block someone on accident. Any Tim's coffee tonight? No, I would love some coffee. With the quarantine going on, I haven't been Tim Hortons in a long time. The Family Donut Shop, my favorite, it is closed because of the quarantine. They were allowed to stay open, but they just weren't getting enough business, so they closed. I've been making my own coffee, which is fine. Like me some Black Rifle coffee, but I've been out all day. Haven't had any since like 8 o'clock this morning. It ought to be illegal. We just turned with the implement in the ground. Whoops. Talking about coffee got me all flustered. It happens. I think that one's a bot. If you're not, I'm sorry. She gone. Is your tea sweet or unsweet? I'm an unsweet tea kind of guy. What's your take on IH2 plus 2? I don't even know what that means. Just block them people. I don't know who's who. I don't want to block their own people. But they are pretty annoying. Any tips for a first-time farmer? Avoid unnecessary debt and be very frugal. I know it's not real glamorous, and always try to learn stuff. There's plenty of resources out there now, especially with the internet. You used to have to flip to a successful farmer and try to find an article that wasn't full of BS. Now you can just surf the internet and try to find one. That would be my advice. The ones that use emojis. All right, no one uses an emoji except for the bots, and we'll block them. Unsweet tea is gross. Here's my take on it. You know what you're getting. Everybody's sweet tea varies so much. Sometimes it can get up and walk, and sometimes it's darn near unsweet tea. So I'd rather just have unsweet tea and be consistent. Do you plant any local seed company seed? I do. Seed Consultants is the company we plant the most of. They were actually founded by a couple of people Dad already knew. Been planting their seeds since they started in 1990. They're based out of Washington Courthouse, which is also where our equipment dealerships that we deal with are. So they're pretty close. They're like 40 miles from us. I assume this one's spam. I'm sorry if you're not, but you go on. Boom! The troll game. The troll game. That's what we're playing right now. Get rid of the trolls. Like I said, if I block you and you're not a spam bot, I'm sorry. The worst part is, it does not matter if you block a spam bot. They're just going to come back under a different name. Oh man, I just answered a spam bot. Picked up a new seed tender from Unpreferred in Delphos, Ohio today. Well, congratulations. Those things are awesome. We were filling up the bean planter with the one we're using today, and that thing was awesome. It was great on the wheat drill, but on the bean planter, wow. It's because our old conveyor, it was kind of a pain in the butt to load the bean planter. You had to hold the auger, it would blow away from you. I liked it quite a bit. How's the dirt working up tonight? Not bad. Like I said, we're going very shallow. We're just scratching the dirt, but we're doing a pretty good job. I'm happy. There's not many stalks standing when we go over. Have you ever driven a Kloss tractor? I have not. What town do you live in? I live close to Chillicothe. What is your dream combine? I don't know. It'd be hard to pick one. Let me turn around here. Huh. Someone's getting sassy. Like we don't know what see you next Tuesday means. It is Tuesday. Maybe they didn't mean it like that. I don't know. Going to let brother work land this year. Yeah, him and I were actually talking about that. We're probably going to be spreading some fertilizer in the next day or so. And I'm going to throw him in here. That way he can get more familiar with running this part of the 1038. He was running the grain cart quite a bit last year, but really the only thing you're doing when you're running the grain cart, you're running the PTO and you're going forward. You don't really use much of the functionality of the tractor on the grain cart. So I want him to get familiar with the monitor and some of the other controls that he doesn't really have any experience with. Just joined a few minutes ago. Well, thanks for joining, Jason. Hey guys, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you haven't now. Oh, someone, Steven, you're fast on the draw here. Get rid of them spammers. Any deer out tonight? I have not seen any. I have not seen any deer at all. But, I don't know. I haven't really been looking. I've been talking. Ooh, $10. Cotton, 765. Thank you very much for the donation. Have a good time in the cab. Hopefully I'll be there soon. Yeah, so far it's been going pretty well. Been pretty good to get back in a cab. See the lights on again. I don't know. We're still early in the spring, so I'm not burnt out from it yet, but yeah, still enjoying it. TP money. Man, everyone gets bent out of shape when you make any kind of joke about toilet paper. In the last video, or the last one, or the one before that, the opening scene is a piece of toilet, or a pack of toilet paper. Someone got angry about that. Can you guys see me in the window? Definitely not taking a drink. Nope. What are you doing in a tractor? I'm turbo tilling. Huh. One of the spam bots stole someone's comment and said lots of spam. Huh. Classic. We're under like 5 feet of water and 85% of our ground. That sucks. I'm sorry about that. Any stray cattle wandering into your freezer? No, unfortunately not. The last one I had to pay for. $10, that's coffee money for at least a day of planning. Yeah, I've probably bought $10 worth of coffee cups before in a day. Now the donut shop that I get it from, it's only $1.40 there, so you can get a few. I found out one time that you can fill up a thermos there for like 90 cents, depending on who's working the window. Now that's a deal. Now the one lady made me pay $2, but the one lady only charged me 90 cents. I like that. What do you think of the versatile quad track? I think the cab on those machines, it's awesome, huge, but I've never ran one. It looks like a very simple machine, which looks like it'd be pretty nice. Looks easy to work on. Oh, that's a spam bot. She gone! Bam! Good. How many donuts come with a cup of coffee? I actually don't eat a lot of donuts. I have this problem when I start eating bad crap, I can't stop, so I just try to avoid it when I can. Unfortunately, I didn't avoid it much this winter. Jillian stole my comment. Where's she at? That one's a spam bot. She gone. What are your opinions on Case IH? No problems. Had a few case machines. Still have a case planner. Get along great with them. All right. So far, 34 acres down. Like I say, this field's 60 acres, so still rolling. What's your favorite job on the farm? Well, it was planting soybeans, but looks like that's getting ended. So probably combining. I don't know, combine was probably, it might have been the favorite to begin with. But I've been planting beans a lot longer than I've been combining. That one's going. That one's going. Don't mind me, just getting rid of the spam bots. Is this the only fields you're working tonight? Yeah. By the time we get out of here and get back to the house, it'll probably be about 10:30, somewhere in there. So I'm going to head her back. I still got to edit a video to come out tomorrow. So, do you all like your vertical tillage program? Very mixed emotions on it. We're trying about half of the ground without it, of the ground that we would normally do. We want to see if there's any big yield drag or advantage or difference, really. If there's no difference, I have no desire just to burn diesel fuel going back and forth. It looks pretty. I like what it does there. And you definitely are able to get a good stand of soybeans. But I think we could do just as good without doing it. The only thing, maybe it's warming up the ground a little bit to try to plant this early. That's kind of my theory on it. That, we had to run it on some, that ground that had the tile put in it, we're going to have to run it over that. We're going to have to run it over the river bottoms where the flood happened, just to cut up stalks. Hunter Washington is spam. Yeah, I think I blocked that person. Thought I did. Righty. Man, when it gets dark in these fields, I have no idea where I'm at. I mean, I think I'm close to the middle, but I'm not sure. Like, I don't know how far over the field goes that way or that way. My map doesn't zoom out that far. That's as far out as she goes. Oh, wait, we can do that. And that, we still can't tell. Crap. Oh, oh, cotton, $7.65, $20. Thank you. Pretty sure I drove by your place before. Would love to stop in and watch help out. Operation difference from Central Indiana. Yeah, well, hey, thanks for the donation. As far as the stopping in and helping out, right now our insurance agency doesn't really want us to be taking visitors, just from a liability standpoint. We do have liability policies, but I don't think they cover visitors. But maybe someday. We don't sell a mower shop. We've talked about doing something with it along those lines, but we just haven't got that far yet. Definitely gonna have to wait until after the corona. Oh, there's some spam. She gone. One of the greatest challenges of increasing production and weather. Okay, I guess I don't understand your question. It says one of the greatest challenges of increasing production is the weather in the United States. Oh, is the weather. Okay, I thought you said weathering. How are we adapting to it? You just got to capitalize on opportunities when you can, and keep on keeping on. Really, that's really all there is to it. You just can't quit. You got to keep going. Luckily, our operation, it's been sized with our equipment pretty well, and we've been able to get through everything for the most part in a good, timely manner. I think vertical tillage is a good deal, but heard you can lose the benefit with just one pass with the disc or how's the 1038 treating you? What could be improved on it? Well, let me think here. I actually had a couple things. I can't remember what they are now. The data keeping, or like the data management side of this monitor is very clunky. I am getting the hang of it. Anyone with a new Rogator sprayer has the same monitor. They know exactly what I'm talking about. getting the hang of it, but it's taken a little bit. As far as data management, Ag Leader has been the easiest to get in and just go that I've been around personally. I don't know. I'm sure once you're used to anything, it's easy, but that's been my experience. Other things, these controls are all pretty good. That's all pretty good. I'm trying to think. I know there's something else that I'd forgot even when I was doing that review with the John Deere. I just can't remember what it was now. I mean, you do have a little bit of less visibility over here, but I can deal with that. It's not a huge deal. I don't know. I can't remember what the other thing was. That's the main thing I would change. The data management interface on the monitor is a little rough. But I am getting used to it. I think it only took 3 minutes to get it going this time. I got the field. But the trick is finding someone you can ask questions and they know the answers. Luckily, I have a good rep. Now, everyone I've worked with AgCo has been pretty good with all these products, so that definitely helps. Dina Moody, I hope I said your name wrong, or right. Jeez, I hope I said your name wrong. Come on. I hope I said your name right. But thanks for the $2. Brown Family Farms keeping us fed in hard times. We're doing our part, but I'll be real honest with you, we'd be doing it if it wasn't hard times. But thank you for the donation. Do you hedge your crops at all, or just forward contract? For the most part, just forward contract. We do have a grain marketing guy to help us with that kind of stuff. Kind of getting the hang of it, but it still kind of confuses the crap out of me, which is why we employ him. He's not full-time just with us. He works for an agency that does that. So, do you raise a garden? I do. In the last couple videos ago, we were rototilling it. Someone said that's a huge garden. It is going to be 95% sweet corn. That's why there's so much space on it. I like sweet corn, not a whole lot else. Row starter, any thoughts? Seems like a good idea. I don't have any problems with it. We haven't done it in a long time. I guess for us, for the most part, it's always just been me and Dad during planting season. So that was just another thing we would have to keep track of, keep to the planter. That's kind of why we never went with it. Strip till, we're basically doing similar. I mean, we're putting 20 gallons on planting into it. So, I mean, I definitely don't have a problem with it, and maybe someday we would go back to it. What's the difference between the two tractors, and is the new one any more fuel efficient? Actually, none at all. These tractors are 50 numbers apart in serial number, so they are, I mean, there's no differences as far as upgrades or improvements made from one year to the next. They are the same. Actually, I take that back. The other 1038, the older one, the one we've had for a while, it has a couple functions different with the 3-point. Didn't even realize that until I was ripping with this one. I don't remember what they are. It wasn't anything too major. I think it's something with the draft control, maybe. I don't remember now. Is George going to be around lots this year? He'll be around some. Probably not as much as he used to be. He is trying to slow down. The man's 71 years old. What day beans are you planting this year? We are planting anywhere from a 3. I think we have a 3.2 all the way up to a 3.8 or 3.9. I can't remember. Will you till this field again or go straight in with the planter? This is the last pass this field will get, the first and only. We will go straight in with the corn planter, or bean planter, I'm sorry. Love your channel, watch your video. Thank you very much. Sorry for the bot scram. Yeah, coronavirus that is a fact. I wish that stuff would go away, but I'm afraid it's here for a while. Sounds like it might get worse before it gets better. Who tilled the garden? George did, actually. My cousin, who did our concrete work, he has a rototiller and he has a Kubota tractor. George is his dad. He was rotating his own garden, and he just stopped over after he got done. Actually called me and said, "What are you doing?" It was like 7:30. I'm like, "I'm eating dinner. You want to rotate your garden?" I was like, "No, I want to eat dinner, George." Jesus. But 5 minutes later, there he was, and we were rotating the garden, so it worked out. All right, guys, we're going to shut her down here pretty soon. My voice is getting pretty raspy. Any cotton farming in your area? Nope, no cotton farming in this area. Do you see the GPS on the deer planter and GPS on the tractor? I don't know what you mean there. We do have GPS on our deer planter tractor, but our tractor that we plant with that pulls a John Deere planter. How wide y'all's Turbo Max? It is 30 feet. Extend beans or Liberty? We are all Extend, but I would say next year we will be Enlist. Whoa, that's a little inappropriate. Now I get why people are saying, yep. Do you do any continuous corn or soybeans? No, we are, it's very rarely that we do corn after corn. For the most part, we try to keep a good switch, good rotation going. You should demo a Kuhn accelerator. A couple of my buddies actually run one. They look like a fine tool. I don't know. They're expensive. They're all expensive. Probably just going to keep running this Turbo Max. Advice for a newly married person. I don't know. It's not the easiest thing in the world, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I think people go into marriage with false expectations that you're just always going to get along perfect. No, that's not the case. My wife and I get along great, but we do argue about some things from time to time. We are two different people. That's just a fact. So accept that, love each other, and you'll be fine. What does the number mean for beans? It's the maturity. That's the maturity of the soybeans. All right. Black and good luck on your season, Brian. Good luck to you too. Have fun planting corn tomorrow. Is there one globe on the tractor and one on the globe on the planter with the hydraulic hitch on the tractor so the planter can stay on the strip till now? No, we do not have that kind of a setup. That would be nice for the strip till, but we don't have that. We just have a globe, not really a globe. The globe would be if we were running a John Deere unit. We have an antenna on our tractor, and that's it. Oh, that bot's gone! Boom! She done. Hey Brian, just finished my live stream, but we're not in the field yet. But I did take the new Versatile 460 for a spin down the road. Hey Mike, that's awesome. Yeah, I seen you were doing a stream tonight too. I'll have to check that out once I get off here. Give me some good listening to material for the night. Oh, another bot. Man, they are everywhere. Is John Deere planter high speed? No, our John Deere planter is not high speed. It's actually fairly low technology comparatively. Our Deere planter is, what does the Turbo Max? Our Deere planter is actually a ground drive machine still. It does have clutches. They shut off every 2 rows, but as far as high tech goes, it could definitely use some upgrades. I don't know that we'd do high speed for a while, maybe eventually, but for now, I would just like to have downforce and electric clutches, or electric drives. That would be awesome. That's the main things I want to put on that planter. So if anybody from Precision's watching and they would like to sponsor a set of electric drives and Delta downforce, hey, just saying, I'd do it. Already looking at them. I'd do it. Getting turned around here. 42 acres in. We are getting there. We are knocking this baby out. We can run 10 miles an hour with our corn planter, Brian. What do you think? That would be awesome. Some of our fields, we would bounce out of the seat at 10 miles an hour. Like it's, yeah, I guess I'm running 10 miles an hour now. But it's kind of bumpy. But yeah, I think more than anything, the 10 miles an hour would be great, but just having a uniform delivery of your seed, even at 6 miles an hour, I think that would be a benefit to the high-speed part. If you don't know what we're talking about, when you have a high-speed planter, your seed tube on our planter is just a hollow tube, but the seed falls down. There's a sensor that counts that seed as it falls down. On a high-speed planter, there's a little conveyor belt that runs, and it doesn't hand drop it, but it drops that seed right down to the bottom. So what will happen on a regular seed tube, where you'll get doubles and skips, the seed will start ping-ponging off that seed tube on the way down, and while it's doing that, another seed might catch it, and you'll have a double. With a high-speed planter, you should not have that, I would not think. Who's the local Fendt dealer? Our local Fendt dealer is Ohio Ag Equipment. Strip tilling tonight. Nope, we are just running the Turbo Max. Strip tilling will be happening, but it'll probably be next week. That's the plan. I have a big surprise for you guys on the strip till bar, but unfortunately I can't tell you about it for a while. So you just got to bear with me on that one. Any speculation? And when I say that, I mean I cannot tell you about it for a while. It's going to be hard to film. I can't show you. How many miles does your truck have? Let's see here. 96,000. Brian, do you want to visit an all Fendt farm? That would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. I don't think we have any locally. We have a couple all AGCO farms in the area. I mean, right down to the combines, but no all Fendt farms that I know of. All right, we're going to answer a few more questions. We're going to try to end it here real soon. Can't believe you're in the field. We were actually just a few miles south of Lake Erie, and it's way too wet. Yeah, my John Deere salesman that we always deal with, he's from Medina County, and he was telling me the same thing. Are you going to demo a gleaner? I would love to. Brian's farming videos. Speak a little bit in Portuguese. Sorry, I have no idea how to speak Portuguese. Mike Les says, we got 1.75 inches of rain over the weekend. It's slowly drying out. Yeah, we missed that, thank goodness. That was, wait a little bit. We're almost done. Strip tiller, get new row units. You can say something like that. All right, guys. We are going to go ahead and end it. Like I say, my wife's tried to call me 2 times now while I've been on this chat, so I'm going to call her. Brian will put the 1030 by 24 row strip tiller. I don't think so. Hopefully we can pull the 12 row. I would love to. I just don't think we got enough horsepower. But anyways, guys, we are going to end this. Thanks for hanging out tonight. And hopefully you'll have a video out tomorrow night. I think I might try switching to 7 o'clock release times instead of 6. So, yeah, be looking for a video sometime around 7 tomorrow. See you then. Thanks.